Hi. There's a bunch of deer that are jogging by. I wonder if they're gonna jog by behind me. They're not. Anyway, so this is an elemental practice that the foundation of it is that the elements are in your body. And I do this practice in the morning when I wake up and throughout the day and sometimes even at night. And it's simply just to say earth, wind, fire, water, air, and space. And to acknowledge that all of those elements are in my body and to check in with how I need to engage with that element in that moment or and throughout the day. So I consider my body earth. So I check in with earth and I kind of do a body scan and like, what part of my body needs to be massaged or touched tenderly. I also actually, when I think about earth, I think about food. So my earth, my food body. So I think, what am I going to have for breakfast and how is it going to nourish this earth? So earth. I may go into like a movement practice. I may go into kind of something rolling on the ground. I may need to like dance my body. There may be a dense part of my body that needs to be kind of worked out. So earth. Air. For me, air is breath. So I will connect to my breath through meditation or through some deep breaths. Sense into my body where breath is getting to in that moment. And maybe I'm like, oh, breath, air, wind needs to be dropped more down into my belly. And when I take a breath, I allow that air, that wind to kind of like move my body in whatever way it wants to move in that moment. So breath can just be connecting in a few moments with your breath or air. Fire. So with fire, and all of these can be defined for yourself. But the key point is to just say earth, wind, fire, water, air, space to yourself. And decide for yourself, how are you going to connect with those 5 elements throughout the day or in that moment? How are you going to connect with fire? So for me, fire is about like laughter and play and connecting with other people. So how do I tend my fires? How do I ignite my fires? And that could just be like calling a friend who makes me laugh, or watching something that makes me laugh, or actually exercising my body and getting my heart rate up, making myself sweat. It could be holding a warm cup of tea. So with fire, it's like, it could be checking with your temperature in that moment and being like, do I need actually another blanket? Like, how are my internal personal temperature levels? Earth, air, water. Literally for me, water is always like drink water. Am I drinking enough water? That's usually what water means for me. In the tangible way. Actually, lately I've also been taking more baths. So it's like, do I need to submerge in water? And also showers, would I like to whisper words of intention into my water before I drink it? How am I engaging with water? How am I blessing water? How am I, absorbing water? Sometimes I feel like I'm actually literally not absorbing water, and in which case I turn my water into more, I have to remember to add the lemon and add the little bit of salt to make it something that my body absorbs more. And that's, so that's a tool to make your water a little bit more absorbent to your body. So water, and then space. And to me, that's like, how close am I, how tight am I making, do I feel right now inside of space? So am I like thinking a lot? Is my mind going and going and going and going and going? How spacious do I feel? And how can I support a little bit more spaciousness? So to me, the exercise where it's the present moment exercise, that always creates more spaciousness for me. Just relaxing, settling into the body, into the moment, releasing the thoughts of the mind, and focusing all of your attention on my body's in this shape. My body is in this shape on this earth. I just took a breath. I just swallowed. So that practice really creates more space for me, like simplifying the moment so that your mind is just more at ease. And you're like kind of letting go of the busyness. Space. What can you say no to? What can you take off your plate? And how else does it make sense for you to connect with space? Maybe you have a deity that you connect to that feels like space to you. Maybe you actually think about space. So all of these things are like creative up for grabs. Just in the morning, throughout your day, earth, wind, fire, water, air, space. How are you going to connect and deepen with your body and your life experience around the elements? To end, there's also another thing that I have been doing lately, which is thinking about particular spots in nature where these things exist. So when I think about water, I think about this literal little waterfall that's in North Carolina, and I think about putting my feet into that water. And I think about earth, I think about, digging my feet into mud at a particular place that I like to go to here in Chicago. It's a forest preserve. So actually coming up with spots in nature that you associate with these different elements. And in this way, you're actually touching into a piece of land that you know, and you're saying hello. And it's just a really good way to also bring those sensations of nature into your city life if you're not already in nature. To stay connected to the beauty and the spontaneous and the creativity and the textures of nature, just by bringing yourself to one of those places where you can feel the wind at the top of the mountain that you've been, the heat of the warmth in New Orleans. I've been there, just kind of touching into warmth. So that's another way to kind of connect in with those elements throughout the day. Enjoy this practice. I can't wait to hear how you're defining each element for yourself.